So today I want to talk about battle impact and how you can have that even as a battleship, a class that traditionally has had pretty low battle impact, and especially in ranked battles that's very important. You need to help your team win the game if you want to progress up through the ranks. Yesterday I showed you guys a pretty crazy Ohio ranked game, and today I've got a pretty nuts Bourgogne ranked game for you. And the reason for ranked really comes down to random battles is pretty tough to push in and have mid to close range engagements anymore. So ranked battles is a little bit easier to do that in, so I find myself enjoying it a little bit more. Yesterday's video I talked a little bit more about that, but these two battleships are really strong in this game mode. Ohio, of course, being very tanky, having that fast cooldown heal, Secondaries allowing it to deal with multiple targets at once, and of course the guns being pretty good, especially when you get lucky, as I did in that last video. Bourgogne, though, doesn't have the tankiness, but it does have an insane amount of speed, and you get this amazing reload booster that just allows you to take opportune shots whenever you need to. It's a 10-second reload on the main guns when you have this reload booster up, and you get 2.5 salvos out of that, which is amazing. Deals with a lot of radar cruisers, a battleship makes a mistake, or you find yourself at close range with a DD. It allows you to get a lot more salvos into the target and hopefully take them out. In this game, I do decide to flank rather quickly since Bourgogne is pretty quick, and that does allow us to do a little bit of damage here in the middle. On this map in particular, it's very important to control, or at least try to control, this middle point on the map. But this Schlieffen is pushing extremely aggressively, so we're trying to get his broadside and also get out of those secondaries. But we're down, right? We've lost a ship, so is the enemy team. Fortunately, we did trade out the Shima, but a Sherman is a pretty powerful ship that our team did lose already. So the other problem comes down to the cap zones. Yes, we might get C eventually, but it's going to be very difficult to get the A cap here. So I need to be careful about the Marceau possibly coming out through this channel to torp me. And then I also want to catch the broadsides of this Ohio, Puerto Rico, and the Schlieffen as they are pushing up the middle of the map. You can never control your teammates, so the Ohio being so far back, not creating a crossfire with us, is a bit of a downside. But hey, we're going to try and make it work anyway. It's really important that you focus on what you can do to help your team win the game. In this case, we need to deal with this Marceau. We're pretty low, so we definitely need to avoid taking as many torpedoes as we possibly can. So we eat one and only one. That allows us to stay alive a little bit longer. Again, we're using that reload booster to get more salvos in on this Marceau. He was full health when he came around this corner, or close enough, and we've taken him pretty low at this point. We get one last salvo into him. We do manage to avoid his last set of torps, so now we know he's used his torpedoes and we can continue pushing. This is what I love about ranked when it comes to battleships. It allows you so much more room to maneuver. And this is really for any ship. It's one of the reasons why Mogador worked so well last season when I was playing Tier 9 ranked. But having extra space to maneuver is super duper nice. In this case, we can come around this flank without being spotted and shot at by, in a random battle, a bunch of people on the H line on this side that wouldn't allow us to be here. The Ohio on the enemy team is in the very middle of the map. Things like this just don't happen in random battles, and it's one of the reasons that I really enjoy ranked for these alternate positions. And just look at the ranges. We're 10 kilometers, 11 kilometers from this Ohio. We nearly get a spot on the Marceau there, 200 HP. Too bad we didn't get a single shell or secondary to hit him one more time when he came out to YOLO us, but that's okay. We're on low health here, but we can use this position to our advantage. Yes, we're down on points and we're down on caps, but the enemy team's in a bit of a rough spot here, especially this Ohio. If I can, I'd really like to get some Citadels here. Unfortunately, we don't have our reload booster available, but 28k is a decent start here. A little bit of secondary chip damage. That's one of the other reasons I'm really enjoying ranked. Running these hybrid and secondary focused ships, you can actually get some value out of them. Not quite as much in this game with Bourgogne, but Ohio certainly, and some of those German battleships as well, do quite well in those situations. Schlieffen especially. No Citadel this time, but I do think we might have an opportunity to get over this next island here. The Thunderdome here in the middle, as I like to call it, has some small little islands that you can actually shoot over. Makes it a little bit tricky to know when you're safe and when you're not safe from crossfires. I'm going to hope to trade out this Ohio. You can see our friendly Ohio is getting a little bit low. So the goal here really is to trade 1-for-1 in that case. Ideally, we would be able to push into the B cap, or A cap, sorry, after that. But I've gone a little bit too far. Double Citadel there, finally. Maybe even get some salvos in on this Schlieffen here, who is also pretty low. This game is close. That's the other reason I enjoy ranked as well. Close games like this, where we're able to have these games be decided by your actions, is pretty nice. Random battles, it's not always going to be like that. Schlieffen is reversing a little bit more here, so we're going to try and get a shot over the island. But yeah, we're definitely not going to make this corner. So I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit because it takes us so long to actually get off of this island. Unfortunately, I don't manage to kill the Schlieffen. The Ohio does go down. And while we skipped ahead, the Schlieffen did push and kill the Petro. But he's on very low health if you look in the top right corner there. And so is that Marceau. 900 points on the enemy team, so we have to get into these caps very soon. Our Shimakaze did a great job on dealing with the Puerto Rico in the south, but now we need to get in the caps. As it stands, they're going to win if nothing changes. So I do have to YOLO this Marceau. And French torpedoes, close range, those can be difficult to deal with. But we did manage to heal up a little bit. Do manage to get the Marceau there. And we're going to slow down and turn in. It's a pretty common tactic to avoid torpedoes, and it works in this case. But that Marceau actually did a good job of torping me earlier, so I wasn't sure this would work this time. Maybe the time pressure was enough, but when he came around the corner to YOLO me initially, he actually led the torps, I think, for me to slow down and turn into him. And he managed to hit a torp there. So I was a little worried. He played that pretty well, but we do manage to take him out, and we're going to get into the A cap. We noticed the Schlieffen on such low HP is in the B cap, so why not take some blind shots? This time, though, we don't actually get great dispersion, and we don't really know where he's at. We're going to cap the A cap here, and hopefully manage to get ourselves closer to this Schlieffen to take him out. Of course, we probably would be able to get to him if he does manage to go dark and run away. That's probably what he's trying to do. I do think we would get into the B cap in time to stall it out. 2 minutes. Bourgogne's pretty quick with that speed boost. But since we're spotted here, we know he's on the left side of the cap. So let's take another random blind shot. And we go dark, which means, yep, he's right there. So pretty good ranked game again. That one I felt really, really good about. Dealing with a very strong enemy push, a not so great start for our team, and yet we still managed to win it. So battleships, even though they do lack some of that battle impact, with the right kind of positioning, you can do some really, really good things. And I'm, of course, just loving this kind of playstyle that ranked allows us to have. It's a really, really fun time. And as for the build, we can go a little bit more aggressive thanks to the extra room that we have with ranked playstyles. So I'm actually taking a little bit of secondaries here. Bourgogne doesn't have the best secondaries, but they do at least pen 21mm. Really only the 2 tier 10 French battleships have that, which allows them to be somewhat useful. The range is pretty decent as well. We're not going a full secondary build, but even here with taking aiming systems on the upgrade slot, we get 11 kilometers of range, and the fire chance is pretty solid. So it's a little bit of a fun thing to take for me personally. A full tank build, especially with concealment, probably would be better. But I'm looking for opportunities to push in, and the extra concealment would be nice for that. But I just enjoy the secondaries so much that I have to do that. We are still going a reasonable build though on the upgrades. Main battery mod 3. I'm even taking damage control system mod 2. You can get burnt down reasonably quickly in Bourgogne. And the speed boost does a great job of giving you that maneuverability when you need it. You could also, though, go steering gears mod 1 and be very maneuverable with that speed boost. It's a pretty tough ship to hit when you have that build on. Aiming systems mod 1, of course, and then a couple of these special upgrades to boost our engine boost, and then also give us a little more immunity time on our damage control. I'm actually really liking that these days. It's quite nice to have that option to damage control a fire or a flood, and know that you're immune for, at least in this case, 23 seconds. Can maybe get you behind an island into cover or let you go dark a little bit easier. It's a very nice thing to have. But there we go. Bourgogne absolutely doing an amazing job in ranked. And I'm honestly having a lot of fun with ranked, so expect to see a few more games of ranked on the channel, because random battles aren't really where it's at these days, at least for me. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.